Oh, sorry. What happened? I tried to pick you up and give you love, and you're going to growl at me? What happened? You okay? You want to sit up here? I'm here with the masterful queen, the mommies, repping for the mommies. Christina, but why do you keep your last name, Pazsitky? You don't, am I saying it right?
No, yeah. Okay, so it's Pazsitky.
Pazsitky.
Which is so annoying.
Like I need to take a shot of vodka when I say it.
I know.
Pazsitky.
It's been the worst name to have in
I
showbiz.
love your name.
I know, but nobody can spell it. Nobody can say it.
I know.
So I made it P, and that's it. But legally,
Christina
I'm
P.
Segura. You're so pretty.
Oh my God, you're so nice. She makes me feel good. You can come over anytime.
I love it.
I love you. She told me I'm pretty and skinny, and she's like, I like your boobs. I'm like, fuck.
And they're real.
They are real.
Boobs are real.
Guys, you heard it here first from Christina P for the mommies. Okay, she knows about titties. This woman. Okay, first of all,
I got tits for days, and
she's got huge titties. It's a big titty club. Big titty club.
And look at you. You look so good there.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
You're so nice and supportive. I need more people like you in my life.
You know what? Can I tell you that I've decided I only fly with eagles. Fuck them chickens on the floor. I fuck with eagles, girl. So
eagles. I'm dead. Am I an eagle? I love that.
You know why? Because you're an innovator. You're so smart at how you do everything. You're talented. You're everything.
Oh my God,
you're
love
everything.
you. Can you be like my best friend forever? God, I need this. She just keeps complimenting me. I'm like, okay, go on.
I can't be your best friend because I see your best friend on Instagram.
Michaela.
She's perfect too.
And she thinks she's fat.
No.
Isn't that kind of crazy?
How did you meet this girl? Is she in
Michaela?
Show business too?
Yeah, she's an actress. She was in like Guardians of the Galaxy and like on Two Broke Girls and that what's that show with Charlie Sheen, that 2.5 Men.
Oh my gosh.
She's been in a bunch of shit.
I'm sorry, I'm such a
I know, but she's like she's like done a bunch of different episodes of stuff. So it's not like she was like the main person, you know.
Okay, so she's very working. Like she's one of those people
she's
that
done a
works
lot.
forever.
I know, and I'm like, I've never been on a sitcom, anything. I'm like, hey, check out my Instagram live. Boo. So depressing.
But isn't that the wonderfulness of the internet? Is that you can be on Instagram Live. Yeah. You can do your podcasting.
That's true.
And you're free. And you don't need the gatekeepers to tell you that you're worth it.
Or audition. That's the worst.
Can I turn my volume up? I like to be
louder?
Very loud. I like to hear my beautiful
voice. Is that you?
Or is that meow, 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 meow.
There you go.
Meow,
is that
meow,
better
meow.
for you?
That's good. I like that.
Okay, good. So so I'm glad to have you here. You came all the way from Pacific Palisades.
Don't
Thank
tell
you.
People I live there.
Just kidding. She doesn't live there. We can cut that out. Daniel, cut it out. Done.
Cut it out. Don't tell me.
You guys are way too. Yeah, I forget how famous you are. I mean,
not famous. Not as famous as
your mom's house. Are you kidding me? You guys are the most famous.
Are we?
That's your podcast is huge.
It is now. It's funny because I don't. You know, it kind of crept up slowly. Everything Tom and I have been doing in the last 15 years, we just did.
You've been doing your podcast for 15 years?
8 years, about 8 years.
8 years. I'm on year 1. I'm like, this is taking really long. I get like 5,000 views on YouTube, but when I put it on Instagram, it gets like 100,000.
Well, that's the secret. It's always like finding where people find you.
Yeah.
But it just crept up, and it was one of those things we enjoyed doing so much. It was never work. It was
fun,
awesome, and then you're like, oh, we have people that listen. This is
love
fucking
that.
Great. Yeah,
and you're both comedians, so it's like perfect.
Yeah. Yes, I know. It's weird because I know. I mean,
sometimes that doesn't work. Yeah,
it could be really. Yeah.
Sometimes they're like, I'm the funny one, and they get mad. They're like, you can't be funny. I'm funny. You stop doing stand up. That's what happened.
What?
When I was dating that comedian I was telling you about, and we lived together, and we were going to open mics, doing stand up, everything together, and then he was like, you know what? We either have to break up or you have to stop doing stand up because this is too much. This is too much. Like, I don't like the pressure of competing with you, blah, 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 blah. So I stopped because I'm weak and insecure.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? I was actually thinking about that this morning, that you're so funny.
Oh, thanks.
And you're great at your characters, and you're like, why didn't you try? I was thinking that you probably
I did for a while.
Taken a stab.
It was really fun. And I loved it. But
what about sketch comedy?
I did that. I did like a couple shows on E that were like just didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
But
nothing.
It is what it is. Nothing goes anywhere, does it?
No,
it's like unless.
But who cares? Because you've got the internet.
Who cares? Because I'm filming this on my iPhone. Dead. Yeah. Okay, so you know what? The whole premise of my podcast is the worst.
Yeah.
Worst shit that's ever happened to you. It can be dating. It can be jobs. It can be, sex. It can be anything you want.
Well, let me tell you something.
Okay, tell me everything.
I might flip the script here a bit.
Please.
Because I'm a stand-up comic. You're a comedian too.
Yeah.
You know that the darkness is infinite.
So infinite.
So I've been with Tom for 15 years.
That's
and just
so long.
I know.
How do you still like him?
I don't know. It's weird, right? I do. I love him. We like each other a lot.
That's amazing. See, guys, true love exists.
It's weird. We work well. We're one of those couples that we just work. We're like, But he even said to me last week, he's like, I've known you for so long and you're still telling me shit that horrifies me about your childhood, about your past. He's like
new stuff?
New stuff.
Whoa.
And I have a feeling, Miss Brittany, that your well goes deep too.
Oh, my well's so deep. You can't even reach the bottom.
Well, so I was thinking maybe we could do, instead of one incident, just kind of a lightning round where we go back and forth
of our trauma. Love that. You guys ready to be depressed? Everyone ready to go get your tissues, everybody. Go get them.
I have to tell you, because I'm fascinated by you. I want to know your story. I feel I've told my stories.
I know.
I want to know you. Why are you funny?
Oh my God. Well, it's like, of course, we had like the worst childhood.
Yeah. So worst. Give me okay, if you don't want to go deep on it, we don't have to. What's the Cliff's notes?
My mom, I'm just repairing my relationship with her now, so I'm not gonna go into it. But
she listens.
she has issues and wasn't the greatest when I was younger, and we did a lot of horrible stuff, and my brother and I got very traumatized by it, and it was just a lot of fighting and a lot of drama, and we were always on the fight or flight, on the edge of your seat where you feel like you're like, fuck, I'm scared, and that's how I felt pretty much 24/7 in my childhood. And it was just like a way of life for me. And I remember I would have diarrhea all the time, and people were, my parents took me to the doctor and they thought, oh, she has IBS, right? So they gave me these IBS pills, but it was really just my anxiety. Yeah. So it was kind of crazy. That was the main.
What kind of stuff was wrong? Were you alone with her, or was it?
Yeah,
where was your dad?
My dad worked during the day and she was home with us. And I just remember,
she on drugs?
No, she didn't do drugs. It's just a mental illness is very big in my family.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. A close relative of mine is schizophrenic, and I don't want to say who, but recently diagnosed schizophrenic, and he's older and it's kind of crazy, and it's my close relative, so you're oh, it's scary. And then my dad's side's depression, and my mom's side is I don't know what, fucking just off the wall. And so it's real. Being fucked up mentally is so real. People act like it's a choice. They're no, that's not true. You don't have, you can't have a broken brain. Everyone is born with a perfect brain. And it's your choice whether you have anxiety or not. It's up to you. It's not fucking up to you.
It's not. And especially what you're talking about, this prolonged fight or flight.
It's trauma. And then it just fucks you up, right? And then when you get older, you're
then you're full of anxiety because your brain has been rewired.
Yeah. What was yours? Was yours like that too?
So my mom was cookie shoes too. My mother.
The moms do it. It's the mommies. Thank God you're a good mommy.
Fuck. But I've been in therapy for a decade.
Yeah, same.
Hardcore. I take my Lexapro.
Oh, hell yeah. Shout out to Lexapro. I take my Effexor. They tried to switch me to Lexapro.
Oh, why not?
Well, I took a Effexor Prozac combo for a little bit, and then I didn't have the greatest reaction, so they were like, maybe not Lexapro for you then, because it's kind of an off-brand, a little bit related to Prozac. I don't know, whatever. I'm stuck on Effexor for life. This podcast brought to you by Effexor. Don't be a fucking psycho.
But thank God for that, because what that is, they say it's called complex PTSD.
Oh, yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
yes. It's we've been to war.
Yeah, yes, for your whole upbringing.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, because that's when the brain is developing, and to be constantly in a state of hyper arousal and hyper vigilance is what happens.
Constantly.
It's very hard to undo.
That's what yours was like too.
So my mom had an undiagnosed, of course, borderline personality.
Oh my God, that's what my mom has. I know I'm not supposed to say it, but she literally has it. She just told me.
I knew it.
She just told me. Yeah. She's like, I got borderline. And then the other day she texted me the lyrics to Madonna's Borderline, and she's like, this song's about me. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. Borderline, feels like I'm going to lose my mind. Right. She literally texted me all the lyrics, and she goes, this is my song. Look, it's about me.
No,
I'm dead serious.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
she has
you're
borderline
in it.
personality disorder too.
So did you have a sibling or
older brother?
Okay, because my trauma was because I was an
alone. Oh my God, no.
So I was in the upside down, and also my dad, they divorced. So I was alone with my mom.
No.
And then he was an alcoholic. So on top of
you had no good parent.
No. So she would kick me out because they kick you out. I don't know if your mom ever did that.
I didn't live with her. I lived with my dad.
Oh.
She left. My dad raised me. And my dad has like depression, but he's like pretty normal.
You know what? We could have a show.
We should have a show
called who's more traumatized, because I'm not sure. So here's the deal. Abandonment is the child's worst fear. My mom would kick me out. She would kick me out. Go live with your father. She would drop me off at school and be like, your room is too messy. I can't deal with you. Go live with your father. And then I would go live with my dad for months. She wouldn't take my phone calls. She would kick me out. And then eventually we'd make up and I'd come back, which was psycho. So I don't know what's worse, that
at a young age?
Oh, from
like 7?
3rd grade. Yeah. So I don't know what's more traumatic, that or having your mom just up and go.
My mom found a new hot guy. So she was like, bye, never had kids. See ya, losers. Dead. Wait, your mom's from Russia?
No, Hungarian. Both my parents.
Both from Hungary?
Yeah. So on
they're
top
like hardcore European people.
Hard fucking core. And they escaped from communism. So they were tough, resilient, clever people.
Damn.
And they were severely traumatized from their childhood. So
it
was
took it out on you.
Well, yeah, they didn't know how to do it. They just didn't know. They had nothing to give. It's not their fault.
God. You know? So you were just constantly like shivering and like
a shelter dog.
Just freaked out, like fucking fluffing your pillows, making sure your room is clean, fucking vacuuming, picking up crumbs off the floor. Totally. Isn't that horrible? And then you try to be like loved and be perfect, and you're like never good enough.
Yeah. And then you're compelled to do stand-up comedy, which was really good for me actually, because I channeled so much into that.
Yeah.
And so now that I can't do it because of this whole quarantine, I'm kind of dealing with anxiety to the max. I've been shopping on Etsy and buying.
Some girl just spent like that's beautiful though.
I know. And I'm into Etsy and I'm compulsive shopping.
Etsy's a dark place. Like people don't understand, but Etsy's like, they're like, check out this doll I made out of human hair and teeth. And like they sell it for like $500 and people love it. They're like, this is creative.
I know.
Like, you made this out of skin? This is great. I love it. I'll wear it all over. People are fucking psycho on there, right?
Totally. And I'm in the Etsy vortex.
You're in the you're in the dark vortex of TikTok. You're in the dark vortex of Etsy.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Christina, you guys need to follow her on Instagram, but she posts the funniest shit on her Instagram, and it's the darkest TikToks I've ever seen. Like, I'm talking about
the dark talks.
The dark talks.
Yeah.
Like the people are missing teeth and like one eye and like.
But can I tell you, it's not work for me either, because people are like, how are you finding
I
these?
don't see this stuff on my For You page.
It's on mine. It doesn't take long.
Your dark childhood just seeps through into the talk.
I think it does, because I find mental illness and dark shit really funny. And I think it's my way of processing all the weirdness with my mom, you know, and I like it. I laugh at it. I know you're not supposed to laugh at mental illness, but like I fucking had to survive my own situation. And I deal with my bullshit too. I have anxiety and all this and trauma, blah, blah, blah. So
I feel like if you have mental illness, you're allowed to do what you have to do to cope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you don't have it and then you're making fun of someone who has it, that's another thing. But if you do have it, like do what you got to do. I mean, I make TikToks about it too, like going into my therapist and then like me breaking up with my therapist, then coming back like 2 minutes later, like I thought I was better, but I'm not, you know, this is a fucking waste of money. I could have bought 12 Louis Vuitton handbags, but I still have trauma.
Are you still in therapy right now?
Yeah, my therapist is really cool. She's been on the pod. Her name's Julia Alperovich. She's like a Hungarian. No,
is she?
She's Russian. I'm sorry, but she's like you. She's got like the foreign situation, but she's tough.
Well, they are.
So she's tough. So she'll just call me out on my shit. Like if I'm just, you know, not trying to help myself, like if I'm not meditating, if I'm drinking caffeine, if I'm doing things I shouldn't be doing and I'm having anxiety, she'll be like, well, are you trying to help yourself? Like, are you taking time out of your day to meditate and to breathe? Like, because we don't I forget to do that too, but it makes a big difference.
Yeah, because before this whole thing, I had such a regimen.
A routine,
Yeah, it was like, I do Pilates at 9. I come home, I do TM for 20 minutes, and then I'm practice my gratitude. Like, it was a whole thing. And then like Pilates out the window.
I know.
And then I just forget that I meditate.
Right?
Like,
you just forget that you have to like be like care about yourself.
Yeah.
I know. You're just like Etsy. I just see all I do is just buy things on Etsy, hoping to fill this black hole inside, but no matter what. Wait, so I'm talking. So you grew up with your mom.
You got to do stand up. Why did you let that guy? I know. Honestly, I shouldn't say that, but like,
I know. But I'm like,
you're young, and then
not really anymore.
No, but I mean, like when that happened, probably.
Oh yeah, I was. Yeah, I was like 23.
And you're so young. That's why the people, when they're like, give me advice on my stand up, I'm like, I would never do that to you.
Yeah.
Because what if I said one thing? And you heard it wrong or something, and then I completely was responsible for taking you off a course.
Yeah. Christina P told me to never do it, so I stopped, and now I work at Geico for the rest of my miserable life.
Right, I can't carry that weight.
No.
Okay, wait.
So I want to hear more about.
Toe-to-toe.
Yeah, I want to hear. So you were by yourself. Your mom BPD, and so you like. How did it start with you with the anxiety? Did you start having panic attacks because it was stressful, right?
Yeah, when I was a little kid.
Yeah, and so what would your mom do when you had those?
Okay, so I started to develop a thing around vomiting.
Oh, I've heard of that. When you get really upset, they throw up.
Yeah,
Tommy's son used to do that.
Oh, right. Well, no, I've developed a phobia of vomiting.
Oh, scared of vomiting.
Yeah.
My friend Rita's like that. She'll do anything not to vomit.
Same. Yeah. And I went like 12 years without vomiting until my son gave me a stomach bug last fall. But yeah. And so I would get like panic attacks thinking about having to vomit. And then I would go just put my feet in the pool and that would help. But I had a separate life. Like, when your parents are nutty, you kind of...
you have to get away.
I just hid.
Yeah.
So I just hid in my room and I listened to records and stories and I watched television. And that's how I learned about like Americans, like normal life. Like Charles in Charge taught me how to be an American. Because at home we were eating like cow brains. And
were you really?
Yeah, we're fucking
worst first dinner. Cow brains. What the fuck? How do you even serve that?
So you bread them, you like make them into patties and then you bread it and then you fry them. And I didn't even know they were cow brains until I was like 10.
Where do you even buy that? The fucking Hungarian murder store? Welcome. We have cow brains. We have pig dick. We have everything.
Good. That's a good accent.
Is that crazy, right?
Yeah, like did she buy them at Gelson's? I'm not sure.
Gelson's does not sell cow brains. Trust me, I've been to Gelson's quite a few times. I'm just use any excuse to get out of the house. I'm like, I go to the grocery store. We need one Q-tip. I got to go get it.
No,
there's no cow brains at Gelson's.
I don't know how she found them, but
and then how did you find out they were cow brains?
So I just asked one day. I was like, "This meat is mushy because it's mushier than anything else." And I was like, "What am I eating?
Is it like ground beef?"
No, because I had ground beef at that point in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's different consistency. I'm like, this is really squishy. What is it? And then she told me and I was like, I'll never eat this again. Yeah.
And she just be in the kitchen fucking putting a little fucking paprika on it and shit.
You're not a foreigner. That's why. Are you American?
My grandparents are all from Italy on both sides. So not really like, I mean, I'm American, but I'm like kind of like, I'm fucking Guido. So.
Yeah.
I mean, my grandfather, I remember taking frogs out of the backyard like a fucking psycho and putting them in a pot and boiling them and eating their fucking legs.
Seriously?
That was traumatizing.
Wait, I thought you had to eat like special frog legs. Like
I don't know.
From
probably. And he just fucking, he had a garden and he would just grow his own fucked up shit and we'd eat it. I don't know.
Italian?
He was Italian.
See, foreigners
he didn't give a shit.
That's the thing. And
he'd eat squirrels and shit.
That's
he didn't give a fuck.
But see, you know why? Because they had to deal with real hardships.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like now with this pandemic, for the first time, Americans are like, we can't get toilet paper.
How crazy is I haven't been able to buy toilet paper. I've been having to order it for like, I paid $50 for like 2 rolls. Some fucking piece of shit on Amazon.
But after a few wars, you best believe you'll be eating frog legs and then you develop a taste for them.
I will never eat frog legs.
So you're with your dad.
With my dad. By myself and my brother. So that's why I'm such a tomboy.
Same.
Like you are too, but like you raised with your mommy.
Well, then she kicked me out and I go live with my dad. And then.
And was he nice?
Yeah. He was an alcoholic, but nice.
Okay.
And he took me to bars with him growing up.
Stop. When you were little, he'd be like, you color and I'm going to take 12 shots.
Basically.
Stop.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, and we would go to a place in the San Fernando Valley called the Beef and Barrel. It doesn't exist anymore. And I loved it because I was like 9 and I would dance with sailors. And I thought it was the coolest
Sailors?
thing.
Where was this? By a port? Like, what was this?
But I remember dancing with sailors and that song, Moni Moni, the Billy Idol version, here she comes now. And they would go, hey, motherfucker, get laid, get fucked. And I learned that
from them.
And I was like, this is amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I would go to school and be like, dudes, did you know there's like a hidden verse to Moni Moni?
Stop. And they'd be like, wow, she's got a dirty mouth. Naughty girl.
Yeah. So just chaos. So wait, was your dad at least together? Like, did
my dad tried his best. My dad has depression, but he would like never admit it, and he obviously won't take medication, doesn't believe in any of that stuff. But it was just me and him and my brother, and my mom was like in and out doing her own thing between like being psycho and not being psycho and just whatever. Anyway.
But did you know as a kid that it was her and not you?
I think the hardest thing was I love her because she's my mother, and and a kid's love for their mother is kind of undying. No matter how horrible a person can be to you, you just love them because you're like, oh, that's mommy. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know it. Yeah.
And so the abuse was unreal in terms of like, and I've told this on my podcast before, where she would like, when my parents first got divorced, it was really messy. She still had a key to our house and she could come and go, and she would take stuff from our house and bring it to her new house. And, if my dad was seeing someone and they bought him something, she would break it in front of us. And then, she just would be back and forth. And
she would break it.
She would break it.
Who brought this into the house? Is this from Nancy? Like that kind of thing? Yes. You tell me everything about that bitch.
Yeah. And then she'd smash it. Yeah. And then it got really bad to the point where, and my dad like was just so, I don't know why he just let her do this, but like she was living with this guy, and whenever they'd have a fight, she would threaten to like kill herself. And she'd come over like once a month, they'd have like a blowout, when her fucking mood would fluctuate, and she'd come over at like 12 o'clock a.m. and I'm like 6, and she'd bang on the door and she'd tell my dad, I need to see Brittany, and she'd be crying, and my dad would wake me up.
No.
And then I'd go in the car with her and we'd drive around, and she'd be crying, and she'd be like, I'm just wanted to say goodbye. I'm killing myself, and don't worry, I'm leaving you everything. And then I'd be sitting there like I just woke up, fucking crusties in my eyes. I'd be like, no, mommy, don't kill yourself. Like, please, I love you. And I'd be crying and devastated. And I'd be literally would be with her for like 3 hours at 12 o'clock in the morning. Trying to convince her not to kill herself. And then finally, after 3 hours, I would convince her not. And I'd be like, I love you. Like, don't do it, mommy. I love you. My brother wouldn't put up with that shit.
That's the thing, though. They say it's harder with girls.
Yeah, the girls.
Borderlines and their mothers because you guys are just naturally more bonded. So she used you as her therapist. My mom did the same thing to me.
Worse. What did she do?
Just like, I was sitting down at the dinner table every night and downloading about her love life and her problems and who's fucking with me, and then how is your father, who's she dating, what's happening. And like she threatened suicide later when I was older, but it was a lot of like,
they treat you like an adult.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm 7, I don't want to hear about a
traumatic
dick.
Oh, I would hear about her sex life all the time. Did you learn about sex from your mom super early?
Oh my God, I remember my mom giving me a bath when I was like 5, and she'd be rubbing my back and washing me, and she'd go, do you think I should leave your dad? And I was like, can I have more bubbles? And then she'd be like, his giant donkey dick doesn't fit inside of me.
Oh.
Hello. Don't judge me on my issues, okay, guys? Did your mom say shit like that to you?
Not about my dad, but she would be
about guys she was seeing?
She told me one time that my stepdad, this is later, she got remarried to a criminal. And she'd be like, your stepfather, Dean, how was his name? Dean, his pickle is infected.
Ew. You're like, I don't want to hear about Dean's pickle.
Yeah. And he wants to fuck me. I don't want to fuck him with his dirty pickle. I'm like, oh my God. But she would always tell me about stinky vaginas. Her thing was like, men don't want women with stinky pussy. And I was, again, like 7, You're 6. Like, yeah, I'm like,
why am I worried about this right now? Like,
what? What's a pussy? Yeah, like I don't even know. Yeah, and really young too. And then she had a sex drawer, and she would show me like, this is oral sex cream. This is edible underwear.
She would show you?
Yeah. Give me tutorial.
Did Dean live with you guys?
So Dean came into my life when I was 12. So by the time I was 12, I was like, I need out. Fuck this bitch.
You knew it was crazy.
So I was already like, I was out smoking cigarettes. And
at 12?
Yeah. By 13, I was like an adult.
You were like 45.
Yeah.
You were like, I've eaten a lot of cow brains at this point.
Yeah. Fucking out, bro.
Whoa.
And so he came when I was 12. And then, and then that was a whole
Where did you live?
San Fernando Valley, bro.
With your mom at 12 still, or did you leave?
So... No, I did. I unfortunately. So what happened was we were living just in an apartment in Tarzana, and then she got remarried to that guy, and then we moved to like Hidden Hills, and she was so into him that she thankfully kind of ignored me. Yeah. So she got out of my ass and into his. And I had friends. I had life outside of home, and I would just stay at my friends' houses as much as possible because I knew I was like, bitch, when I'm. She would always tell me, actually, when you are 18, you are cut off. And I was like, bitch, I'll be out sooner. And I was out by 17. I went to college and I was gone. And
where did you go to college?
University of San Francisco. I barely got into college. Like my SATs were just horrible. Abominable.
Well, because of all the shit you're going through. They're like, hey, what's the Constitution of? Bitch, I don't even know if I'm going to survive tonight in my bed. I'm not worried about the goddamn fucking when the Declaration of Proclamation was signed.
I know. Like, how can I study when there's yelling?
Yeah, and like my mom showing me her fucking edible panties. Bro, that's all that's been going through my head. I'm not going to remember this shit.
I know. And there's too much at home.
Yikes.
Yeah. So
good for you going to college, though. You got into college. Well, good for you.
And you know why, though? It's only because I'm so easily swayed by what my friends were doing.
Really?
Yeah.
But you also seem really smart. So.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe it's the glasses.
Yeah, it's into just wearing people think you are.
The thicker framed your glasses, the smarter you are.
It does make you look smarter.
It does.
So my best friend was like, I'm going to go to USF. And I was like, I'm going to go too. And then I just applied because she did.
You're like, what a coincidence. I also applied.
Literally. It was such a fucking.
I love it.
So your dad's raising you. Your mom would show up and terrorize you. Do you resent your dad for not protecting you from her a little bit?
He eventually did. He eventually because I started getting really fucked up. I developed OCD first before I developed anxiety.
Of course. I still
Did you have it? Do you have it?
Still
Did you have the touching thing?
No, I have a hypervigilance around checking.
I still check, but I try not to I check my curling iron 7 times before I leave the house still, just because I'm like, all right, did I unplug it? Yeah, I did. But wait, maybe I didn't, and then go back because I'm like, if the house burns down, the dogs, that's all I care about.
Of course.
If the dogs weren't here, I wouldn't care. But so it started, my dad noticed that I would if I bump my hand on something, I'd have to bump it 8 more times to give it back.
Yep.
And then it turned into rituals. When I would have to go to school, I'd have to run up and down the stairs 8 times before I could go out the door. And it was all these rituals, and I was doing all this shit. And he was like, this is not normal. This is fucked up. So he sent me to therapy. And then the therapist found out about, all my stress and what my mom, the stress that my mom was causing me. And they're like, she's going to end up, really messed up from this. She even told my dad, she's like, the fact that she's not even more messed up from this yet is crazy. And that the OCD was a coping mechanism, right? It's your body, when you're under trauma or stress, your brain does that to distract you,
to protect you.
Yeah, to protect you. Isn't that weird? Yeah. And the hypervigilance and the anxiety comes because when we were under so much trauma as kids, our amygdala grew larger than it was supposed to, because we were under it was, for instance, back in the day, if you were under constant attack of a lion, your amygdala would grow larger to keep you protected and on fight or flight mode to survive. So because even though it's in modern times and there's no lion, in this case, our mom is the lion.
I know.
And we're constantly surviving for our lives, even though it's not life or death. Our brain can't tell the difference.
That's the torture of trying to undo all that stuff.
You can't really undo it.
I know.
That's the fucking problem. It's like, it sucks because it's like people are, and then people are like, oh, why don't you just like do yoga, or like they don't really get that it's like, once you're in, like you said, when your brain is developing, and this is happening to you, it shapes everything. And that's just how it is now. Yeah.
I know. And those things can like help regulate you a little bit so that, but I go through, I'm sure you do too, like when you get like triggered.
Oh, yeah.
Do you get like dissociative stuff?
Oh, I'll be sitting there and like, I'll be leaving my body for sure. Like I did it the other day. I was like driving my car. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. Tommy and I were going to see a house and we were driving on the road and I just was like, I'm sitting here and he's talking to me, but I'm like not here. Like I was like outside of myself and I was just, and then I think sometimes I get too focused that like, oh, I'm a soul sitting in my body and I start to think about that too much. It's weird. But
do you think about death?
All the time.
Yeah, me too.
Constantly.
Yeah,
scared.
Especially with kids. I'm like, oh God, I just want to live until they're 18. Like, please. So wait, what made you dissociate the other day in the car?
It happens to me all the time. It's like if I get, it happens to me like I'll just be sitting there and I'll like someone can be speaking to me and I'll randomly just be like, not here anymore.
Because something will trigger like what they've said.
I don't even know what triggers it. Sometimes I just don't feel well. Like if I feel a little off or if I feel like too much anxiety, I'll start to drift. And I don't know why my body just does it, like to like protect myself. But it's weird because it's like, I don't know. Do you have really vivid dreams? I think we talked about this.
I do.
You do.
I do.
I think that's part of it is like the PTSD is like vivid dreams. Yeah. And I notice when I'm sleeping, I feel like when I'm sleeping, I leave my body. Isn't this weird?
No.
Do you feel that way?
I don't know if I have that sensation. But my dreams are very lucid.
Very, very real. Yeah. So when I dream, I feel like I go to another realm and I don't feel like I'm on Earth anymore. And then in the morning when I wake up, I feel myself being like thrown back into my body. And I've talked about this and people are like, it's called astral projecting. And I've never really looked it up. But anyway, it's fucking psycho. And that's why I wake up tired.
Oh,
it's weird.
Because I wake up tired when I'm super stressed out and worried and anxious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
I know. So wait, when did you did you go to therapy when you were dealing with this with your mom or no? Because they didn't want to.
No, dude. So
they were like, eat more cow brains. That's all you need.
Well, this is the 80s. Like I was born in 76. So in the 80s, like there was no idea of PTSD or like borderline. Right? Like it was just all kind of starting, you know?
Yeah.
So by the time I'm a teenager, I am like crazy. Like 14, I was like.
Did you do a lot of drugs?
Yes, experimentally.
What drugs? Everything. Heroin, acid, cocaine, fucking meth, like everything.
I tried these things
just to feel better.
Yeah, but I wasn't dialed in that way for addiction, so I didn't care. I smoked, I drank, I had friends, but I was suicidal by 14. I was like cutting and
I cut too. Yeah. Because like you wanted to die, but you didn't have enough strength to fully do it. That's like the worst, right? You're like, I can't go all the way. Yeah.
That is a perfect description because you want to die. That's so true. But you're like, there's a part of me that wants to live.
Tiny part.
Yeah.
That just keeps you from shoving it all the way through your arm.
Yeah.
I used to tie belts around my neck until I passed out.
Oh my God.
Did you ever do that? Listening to like Portishead?
Yeah, I love Portishead.
My dad would come in my room and like find me like my belt around my neck.
That's serious.
Yeah, that's some David Carradine shit.
Yeah.
That's how he died sexually. I wasn't doing it in a sexual way, but I did like the like blood rush to my head and I'd get so lightheaded I'd pass out. And that's the weird thing because now I'm so scared of dying. But I wasn't scared of dying then and I wasn't on antidepressants. No. Once I got put on antidepressants, then I became scared of dying.
Well, let me tell you what my shrink says about that.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Get it, girl. Boom. Oh, hell yeah. This is the fucking pussy fart burp podcast. I farted with Michaela on the podcast. I was like, a huge one. She like, almost divorced me as a friend. Anyway, go ahead. What did your therapist say?
What was it? Oh.
Your therapist says about, I said I wanted to kill myself and tried kind of before I was on antidepressants.
Oh, it's because, okay. So once I started taking Lexapro and I had children and a husband and a life that I was really proud of and really happy about, now suddenly I'm living for the first time. I'm not just in surviving mode, which is what it is before you get into therapy and you get help after all this trauma. You're just surviving. Mm-hmm. Now I have so much to lose. I don't want to lose my life. I know, because
now your life's so great.
Yeah.
That's how I feel now too. I think that's why I'm extra panicky and scared of dying, because my life is so wonderful. Yeah, and I have like a really awesome husband and we're so happy, and like these two little idiots and like everything's so good. I'm like, fuck, please don't take it away. I'm sorry I ever wanted to die. And then I'm afraid God has like a delay. And then he's like, oh, okay, let's see. Brittany Furlan 2005 wanted to kill herself. Well, we better get to that. And then kills me now.
Oh, I'm convinced that I'm dying of cancer slowly.
I always feel like I have cancer.
Yeah.
Too. It's an anxiety thing.
Or heart problems.
Cancer?
Oh, I see. I just had my heart looked at. I'm fine.
Good. So I've had it looked at like every month for like the last 10 years. I'm like, nope, doc, it's going to stop. I know it is.
That's
paranoid.
You're convinced it's the heart.
Yes. I feel I get chest pain a lot. Do you?
No, I do have palpitations that I believe are anxiety related.
Yeah.
And everything is centered in diarrhea for me, my stomach. If I'm like really fucking revved up, that's the first thing.
Why do you think you have cancer? What part of the body do we have cancer?
Breast.
Oh, have you gotten a mammy?
Yeah, I just did.
Oh,
I just did.
Then.
I'm clear.
Yeah.
But because my grandmother died of it, and my mother would always say, "Oh, you have to get your breast checked for the cancer. You're going to get breast cancer."
You got big knockers.
Does that make it?
Did they have to use like 3 machines? They're like, we got spillover. Can we get 2 more fucking? Can we just put 2 more machines in? Jesus Christ, you got massive tits. Tom must just be like,
and breastfeeding didn't make it any better. But your tits are big too. What are you working with?
Mine are big. But you know, I'm a 34D.
No way.
Yeah, but one's more like a C.
Bigger.
You think?
Your tits are bigger than mine.
They're not, girl. Yeah. I just saw your boobies.
But my tits are under my arm.
Your tits are your tits are like a Q.
I know. Look. What's a Q?
You have huge titties and natural. You got those Hungarian boobs.
I'm made to breed. I think you and I are made to breed.
I know, but except I'm too crazy.
Too much anxiety, too much going on.
And I have all that endometriosis and polycystic ovaries. I'm not doing that. Did you have any of that shit or no?
No, I was
had good babies.
Lucky.
Healthy. Good.
Lucky.
Now, here's my question. When you were pregnant, did you have extra anxiety? Was it worse?
Oh my God. So here's the deal, man.
I would have lost my shit. I wouldn't do it. Because
once you have children, now you're really faced to deal with all your childhood shit again. Yeah. And the pregnancy freaked me out because I was like, oh my God, can I travel? Can I get on a plane? Can I do stand up? Can I listen to Howard Stern? Am I still a person? Like,
yes.
You know what I mean? You're like, am I a mom now? Like, what's a mom? Because, you know, I don't really know what it is.
Yeah. What's a mom? Because we didn't really have like the right example of that.
So I struggle with that all the time.
You're probably the best mommy though.
I do love, like, it's bananas how much I'm really like.
And you have 2 boys?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They're cute. They're really
and
good.
They're young.
But see, you're good with these.
These are all I need.
I know.
These are my children.
They're the best.
They act like people.
They're the best.
They really do. They're not people. But oh, you're my best friend.
I like dog breath too. You did was it a talk where you're like,
I did a little talkie. Yeah.
I like it.
So good.
I like it.
No. Okay, guys, wait, hang on. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with Christina P on Worst Firsts. Okay, we're back.
That was so
people
quick.
love it. I know, because I have to throw the ads in there.
Yeah,
hopefully you guys are still listening. You know what? What's crazy is that my girlfriend recently had a baby. Her baby's about 9 months old, and she has a lot of mental issues like I do, and she had to get off all her medicine when she was pregnant, which is the worst. Because my OBGYN said if I ever wanted to get pregnant, I could still stay on my medicine because I'm on a low dose. And they let a lot of women if you're on a low dose. But if she was so concerned about the baby, she got off all her medicine. And then she got back on now that she's had the baby. And it's just like she is just struggling. But she loves being a mom, and she's a really good mom. But it's like almost like an overdo it. Like, you know, the baby has to have 6 bottles a day and has to eat 3 meals, and everything has to be perfect, and we got to like change her diaper. You like that too?
Hypervigilant. So what happens is you push all that anxiety and hypervigilance towards the care of the baby when you're in an anxiety overdrive. And that's what I did with postpartum depression on both kids.
Oh yeah, she has that too.
Yeah,
but she won't accept any help, which is not good.
How long has it been since she had her baby?
The baby's 9 months.
just go get on something.
She won't accept any help, like with like caring for the kid, and she feels like she can't even take a shower.
What? Oh, she's deep in it.
Yeah, and I'm like, babe, you like. She came and visited us, and I was like watching the baby and put on cartoons, and the baby was in her little thingy, and I said, look, you can put on some like cartoons and like get a shower, wash your face, you know, maybe put her in there with you so you can watch her like, peek out the shower, right?
You just put the baby down.
Yeah, she's like, no, because what if I'm like washing my face and something happens?
Oh yeah, she's really got it bad.
It sucks.
I had that
so
too.
Bad for her.
Like that hyper. I can't even hold the baby. What if I drop the baby?
Yeah,
what if I?
She's like paranoid about the baby being hurt, or like the baby will be like laughing, and she'll be like, "Oh my god, what's wrong?" I'm like, "Babe, she's laughing, like she's happy."
Yeah,
and the baby's like the happiest baby.
Yeah, she needs help then because it's a prison to be that hyper vigilant and shitty. So hold on. So you're with your dad. You're with your bro. Do you like your bro?
My bro's awesome, but he when we were younger, he cut off from everything, and I just got to deal with everything because my brother was so mad at my mom for leaving. Yeah, because he was like, him and my mom were like best, like close, and then because that was her firstborn, my brother, and then when she left, my brother was like, fuck her. He felt like he left him for this guy, and so he cut her off. He like didn't care. She'd be like, I'm gonna kill myself. He'd be like, good. He was like so evil. I was like, don't say that, Greg. You're not helping it. And he'd be like taking tons of acid and smoking weed and just fading out of everything. And he's got his issues, but it's like we're friendly. I mean, I love my brother. I don't talk to him a lot. He lives in Pennsylvania, but we both got really fucked up from it.
Where did you grow up?
Pennsylvania. Philadelphia, outside Philadelphia.
Oh wow.
Ew, it was the worst. It was the fucking worst. And people comment on my TikToks like, I'm from where you're from. And I'm like, God bless. Get the fuck out of there. I was like, I hate that place.
All I know of Philadelphia is as a comedy. So as comedy cities go.
Like Helium Comedy Club and
Helium,
stuff. Yeah.
And you can tell if the audiences are hard or they're hard laughers. Meaning they're hard to laugh. The East Coast in general.
They're fucking miserable.
I don't know. I can't say, but
they're so miserable. They go through all the seasons. They're like, I'm fucking hot. I'm cold. I'm fucking, my job sucks. Like nobody says hi to each other. Like that was a weird thing coming to LA, like walking down the street and like you pass somebody and they'd be like, hello. And I was like, this motherfucker trying to rob me? Like what's going on? Because in Philly, you just kind of keep to yourself, even though they call it like the city of brotherly love.
Yeah. And they're not at all. I like when people say hi. It pisses me off because it's fucking unclassy. If you're going, like I drop my kid off at preschool, I used to. Yeah. And if the other fucking parents don't even acknowledge, it's like, are you this classless, you fucking piece of garbage?
So rude.
Hi, good morning. Like you're modeling for these fucking kids, you douchebag. Or open a door and let come on.
Yeah. I know people can be mean.
So mean.
Yeah. I don't like that.
And I feel like too, because you grow up with so much shit that I'm very sensitive to other people. Believe it or not, like I know we talk shit on your mom's house and we make fun of everything. I'm actually quite sympathetic to people and to and what people are going through and the ability to put yourself in their shoes. And
your audience isn't though. I did your mom's house, guys. I did their podcast. If you want to see like a fucking, I read I wanted to kill myself.
Don't read the comments.
They were so mean. They were like, this bitch is fucking, they used the R word. They called me retarded. I was like, what? What the fuck is this? They were so mean to me. They were like, this would have been so much better if it was just Tommy. I was like, damn, these motherfuckers are, and I barely said 2 words.
I don't buy, listen.
No, they were mean. It's okay.
I never read the comments. I don't read my own show comments. I don't read the Reddits or the Facebook.
Oh God, Reddit. Hell no.
You should see the YMH Facebook group or whatever, the fan page. I had to stop reading it because even the fans of the show are like, Christina's fucking stupid.
No, it's because you know why? Because I realized that like Tom and Bert, like that whole group of guys, like their comedy is very like, the guys that it attracts are like the guys who are like, women belong in the kitchen and fuck that, yeah, fuck that pussy and like that. That's the kind of guys like in America. There's a lot of guys like that still in America who are like, women aren't funny.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Me sticking my big dick in your ass. Like they're just so gnarly. Like they're they're like rough and tumble dudes. They only think dudes are funny and they love dudes. And then if there's a woman, they're just like, what's this woman doing here? You know, women are only good for fucking and sucking. Like they're just.
Well, I'll tell you what, too, when I started stand-up a million years ago, that was all the audiences. It felt like,
how did you deal?
I mean, you got good.
Tell me a horror story.
Oh, God. I mean, I learned to feature all up and down Florida. That's where I featured, and I learned.
God, Florida.
I've done like hibachi grills. I've done fucking... you name it, convalescent center. The one time my first time I featured, oh my God, it was a Tribble run. It was horrible. It was all up and down the Pacific Northwest. Mm-hmm. And I did a biker bar. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you there. I didn't see you there. And I did a biker bar, and it was in a Klan town, a former Klan town. And I talked to the chef who was a black guy, and I'm like, what are you doing here? Why do you live here? He goes, well, I don't live here. I live 75 miles, away. I come and I work. Anyway, I thought I'd be very clever. And I was like, what do you guys like to do for fun here besides drag minorities behind your trucks? Oh, stupid.
Did you say that?
Yeah. And I thought I was being clever. I thought I was Bill Hicks or whatever. Yeah. And someone threw a fucking beer bottle at me. And that was it. I lasted about 20 seconds. And that was probably the worst story. And the headliner, they dragged me off and she had to close the whole show. I mean, they
threw a beer bottle at you? Did it hit you?
My feet. Yeah.
Oh, God. Right in the face. You're like,
oh, my God.
Yeah. Can you imagine? That is kind of clever, though. I will say that's a good joke.
It was a good opener.
It's a good opener for fucking those people.
I couldn't pull it off.
Those people are like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done it all.
They're just don't call us out on our shit.
Yeah, well, who wants that too? In retrospect, it was probably not who cares? Yeah, they're rednecks. I just wouldn't do the venue now.
There's just some guys that no matter how funny you are as a woman, they just won't laugh.
They won't laugh. No, that's true.
They'll just be so mad that you're a girl and up there trying your thing. They'll just
no. Well, because it's power. Yeah. When a woman takes a microphone into her hand and commands a room, you're subverting the power structure. It's very it's subversion.
Yeah.
But I will say this generation, millennials, the Gen Y, are down as fuck for female comics.
Dude, they're so down for everything. They're down if you got a fucking pussy dick. They're down if you got fucking... They're so down for everything. They're down if you got titties and a mustache. Yeah. They're like, we love that. We stan.
Yeah.
We stan. People are just going to end up being purple with dick pussies and in the future and just nose pierces and fucking the mustaches and vaginas. It's going to be very different.
Because on the talk, I find I discovered, I'm learning about non-binary.
Oh yeah.
And I don't fucking understand it. Mm-hmm. And this one person was had a beard.
Yeah.
And they were yeah, I have breasts and a beard, but I'm not a man. I'm transitioning into the thing and I'm trans mask and I'm like, I don't fucking understand any of what you said.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're happy.
But happy for you.
It's rad. Yeah. It's obviously I don't fucking, what do I care?
Right.
But
I've never minded. Yeah. It's that's the thing is it doesn't bother me because it's not me.
What do you care?
Who cares? It's go ahead. If that makes you happy, happily live your life. I'm fine with it.
I think I'm probably non-binary. I'm a very masculine woman. I find myself, I feel like I'm a man on the inside a little bit.
Are you attracted to girls?
Aggressive? No.
Not at all? No lesbian experiences?
I mean, in college, who didn't? In the 90s.
Dead.
Did you ever?
Yeah, I actually dated a girl. I was
full dating.
Yeah, when I was young, it was my first relationship.
What?
Mm-hmm.
How old?
It was my best friend. We started fucking hooking up when I was 8.
What?
Yeah. It was my mom's friend's daughter, Krista, and we would go over her house and we watch HBO Real Sex and we'd fucking hump the shit out of each other.
At 8?
Mm-hmm. And that went on for years.
Hold on.
We were best friends too. So it was awesome. It was my best friend and I could have sex with her. It was great.
And it's safe. I imagine
it was fun.
Feels really safe.
It did. Good. It was fun. It was really fun. But then it was weird because it wasn't I wasn't in love with her. It was more just oh, this is fun. We have so much fun together and then we do this thing and that was great.
Wait, What, at 8 years old, you're doing vag stuff?
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean? Are you going down on each other?
No, just like dry humping each other.
That's easy.
It's easy. It's like she could be a pillow.
Yeah.
But it was like fun and we loved it. And we would like, that was like our thing. I'd go over there and sleep over. We'd watch HBO Real Sex and then we'd get all horny and then we'd like fucking, and that went on for years. And then she started fucking guys when we were like 13. And she was like, I don't want to do this anymore with you. Like, I like fucking guys. And I was like traumatized. I was like, penises, you're going to get pregnant. Like so scared. And then I thought I was a lesbian for the longest time. But I was attracted to guys, you know?
Yeah.
So I was just really confused because I was like doing this girl thing and then like attracted to guys. And then like, it was just weird.
It's a lot.
It was a lot, yeah.
Well, especially to be sexually active so early.
So early.
That's really early to be.
I don't know why either, too. I wasn't molested or anything.
Were
I think
you privy?
she introduced me to it. So.
She was your molester.
She was the one that instigated it. So it wasn't me. But I think she had some stuff that went on.
If you were watching HBO Real Sex at 8 and at her house... Yeah, so she was privy to stuff at a very early age. So she was overstimulated maybe sexually and then was like, hey, dude.
And she's like, I'm horny. And I was like,
what's horny? Yeah.
She's like, sometimes I hump my dolls. I was like, what's that? And she like showed me. I had a cousin that like showed me how to hump pillows.
That's
and we're all very young too.
I knew a girl that humped shoes. Her Mary
Shoes?
Janes. Yeah. When she was very young too.
How's that fun?
A Mary Jane. She said she loved to hump a dry hump a Mary Jane.
Guys, we are all the same. Let's just put it this way. We're all just fucking weird little horny humans.
It's true.
Isn't that crazy?
But don't you, I know, I've been told I should get into Al-Anon because you get to
I gone to Al-Anon.
Yeah?
I go to Al-Anon.
Does it help you to hear other people's stories and stuff?
Yeah, except it's like my parents didn't really like the alcohol thing. Like my mom would drink, obviously, and get fucking crazy, but she was just crazy either way, so it didn't matter. But a lot of their stories are so alcohol based that I'm like kind of not really like relating to it, you know. It's like more of the mental illness stuff is where I think I need to go, but I don't know if there's like a group for that where your parents are mentally ill.
That would be great.
There should start a group where there's people whose parents were mentally ill.
Yeah. Especially borderline.
Yes.
Like a borderline
support group
for daughters of borderline moms. Because that's a special thing, man. That to have that relationship warped, the mother-daughter thing, it's like, it's so hard. It's really been hard. Just the worst.
Is your mom still alive?
No, thank God. She died in 2015.
She did. Was that hard? Or
oh my God.
That like?
Okay, so here's a worst. Okay. Worst. 2015, I'm 5 months pregnant with my first kid. I land in Montreal for the Montreal Comedy Festival, and I get a text like, talk to your husband or whatever. I'm like, all right, whatever. And I see Tom, and he sits me down in the hotel room, and he's like, your mom died. And I start laughing, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, I think he's kidding. And it was like, that was probably the worst moment. It was dealing with my mother's death, and I had to come home and go to like the mortuary and do that whole. Has anyone died?
Where was she?
So she lived in Marina Del Rey. And she was a shut-in. She had people caring for her, thankfully.
Did you pay for it?
No.
How did she afford it?
The husband she was with, they divorced and she got a settlement.
Some money. Okay.
Yeah, thank God. I mean, I always made sure she was cared for, like she wasn't eating dog food.
Did you go see her?
Yeah. So here's the deal. I went to go see her and she kicked me out and told me I was a bad daughter.
When?
8 years before she died. So she kicked me out and I was like, all right. And I tried calling her and she would be like, I am moving furniture right now. I can't talk. And she would hang up on me. So then we didn't speak for 8 years and then she died.
And you would keep trying to talk to her and she wouldn't?
I did. And then eventually I just
gave up.
And then she would get weird. She became really crazy. She was hearing voices. She became psychotic and broke from reality. And she would send me these really cryptic letters. She would send them to clubs that I was performing.
What would they say?
She was into Hillary Clinton. It would be like, Hillary Clinton has this heart condition, so you'd better be careful too. Please call me. I have important information. It was like nonsense.
Did you call her?
No,
you just didn't even care. You're like, Mom, get away from me.
Well, because it was so traumatizing.
Yeah.
Like every time a letter would show up, I would just be in pieces and tears because it was like, dude, I can't.
So fucking delusional.
I can't. Yeah, like to see your parent really lose their shit.
Yeah.
It's just, and I knew she was being cared for. She had people that looked after her, blah, blah. So she was fine.
Was she on medication? She wouldn't take it.
Of course not.
See, and then people say that, like, and same, the borderlines don't ever want to take it, by the way, or they'll drink on it, which makes it worse. But here's the thing. People are always like, oh, it's like the medicine that's making these people crazy. No, bitch. No. Fucking, some people... the reason we have this medicine is because of this kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like, this is what happens when you don't take the medicine. By the way, the person in my family who's become very schizophrenic will not take medicine.
No, and that's what makes
it's the worst.
So interesting. That is what my mother was diagnosed schizophrenic too towards the end of her life, and they did medicate her towards the end of her life because I got to see all the records and stuff prior to her being medicated. So that's another thing. So when they die, you have to clean out their fucking apartment. Here I am. I'm about 6 or 7 months pregnant,
by yourself.
And I'm by myself. My husband's on the road. I convinced my dad to come back from Hungary to come help me do this. He begrudgingly comes back because he's like, I'm on vacation. I'm like, Dad, I have to clean out Mom's apartment. Like, I'm not going to pay for her apartment.
What did she die of?
So, like pulmonary failure. She had cancer too eventually. And so
was she old?
No, 69.
That's not old at all.
No. But I'll tell you, nothing worse than the mortuary when you're pregnant and like you're filling out forms for somebody's life that you haven't spoken to. It's your mom. It's been 8 years. And then they're like, do you want to cremate? Do you want to bury? Did you love her? How much did you love her? How much do you want to pay
they
for?
They ask you that?
No, but you know what I mean? Everything's so fucking expensive.
Fucking survey on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you give a fuck about this person? You're like, what?
Well, basically, because if you want to bury somebody, that's a goddamn fortune, man.
So it's like 10 grand, right?
At least. And I was like, no, she wanted to be cremated. I knew this about her. And then it's like, how much is the box that you put her in? Did you love her? How much do you love her? Because if you want to spend, 10, there's $1,000 box. There's a cheap box for $300.
God, like, we have this beautiful Jonathan Adler. You're like, really? It's horrible.
So it's like there's all those horrible, and then going through their stuff. And so anyway, the point being, she'd gotten so schizophrenic and crazy. She had kept files on Tom and me. She would listen to our podcast. She would write down sayings that she thought were pertinent to her, that she was hearing messages. She would print out photos of Tom, like with his arm around like a female fan or something on the road, and be like, this is proof that he's cheating on you. Like, it was craziness. She would highlight, instruction manuals for the microwave. She was into the Bible, so she was circling Bible. That part was the hardest.
The circling thing is so real with schizophrenics.
Yeah.
They like circle words and think they're seeing messages.
That's all of it.
So crazy.
So you see their decline. And you're like, I kind of remember you being more lucid.
Right.
And so that's the hard. I think that was the worst.
I'm so sorry. And so did she own her place?
No, she was renting a nice place.
Yeah.
And thankfully she had a will because she was divorcing this guy and she fucking hated him. Wanted to make sure that, this is hurting me right now. Yeah. Whatever. Thank God her affairs were in order. But did
she leave you anything?
She did. That was really fucking cool that she actually did leave me a little chunk of change.
Nice.
But there is nothing worse than canceling a dead person's car insurance, gas bill. Like, you don't realize that when somebody fucking dies.
You got to call the phone, fucking Verizon. Hey, so they're not going to be taking any more calls. Oh, why? You're switching to another provider? No. Yeah, we are. Jesus. We've switched. God, his service is always available for free.
100%.
Oh my God.
And some places don't believe you. And they're like, can you go ahead and fax the death certificate?
Oh my God. Because they're like, you're breaking a contract. We got to charge you $400 unless you show us that they fucking died.
Yeah. And I'm like, first of all, no, there's no fucking fax machine.
Isn't that horrible? Someone did that to my grandma. When my grandmom died, they did that to my mom. My aunt. Yeah.
It's like canceling credit card. That is probably the worst. And you're grieving and it's complicated because it's somebody
and you're really pregnant.
It's the fucking worst year of my life.
Your baby's all, what the fuck is going on in there, dude?
Yeah, it was so depressing.
Man.
That was probably the most depressed.
You're so strong though.
You know what though? I think so are you. And I think it's resilience. I think you and I should be, porn stars or heroin addicts.
I could be one day. It's not too late.
TikTok. You never know.
MILFs of Pornhub.
There you go.
I had OnlyFans reach out to me. They're like, hey, listen,
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Is that just sexual things, right?
No, but there's kind of people getting on there now for everything because of like quarantine. Everyone's kind of like wanting to do their own thing and have like, you know, it's for like exclusive material. It's mostly sexual and stuff like that. But now they're trying to like make it more like a, you know, anybody can be on it, and it's like a subscription basis where people pay like $99 for the year, and you know, you upload like material on there that only is for OnlyFans and it's nowhere else.
Sounds like a real headache.
Yeah, it's not really like I wasn't into it, so I was like, no.
What? Like I'm trying to think like for me personally, I'm like, here's me eating a
burger. Like, yeah, exactly. They'd love that. They'd be like, "Oh, you shitting? Done." There's a game for that. Do you have guys email you and ask for like your dirty sneakers and socks and stuff?
No, and I'll tell you why. I don't check all those 99 plus.
Yeah,
don't check
messages. I do.
You do?
Well, only because I get podcast stories from it. Like when I ask people to submit stories, so I see it.
Well, that's smart. No, and I think it's because my husband is a big hairy guy that will probably
he will fucking kill them. But look at my husband; he's been to prison. They don't care.
Yes?
Yeah, he was in prison for 6 months.
What did he do?
For him and Pamela when they had the fucking fight.
Oh, wow.
When he pushed her. He went to prison for 6 months for that. Solitary confinement across from Robert Downey Jr. About that shit.
Don't you feel like, I feel like your husband's had a few different lifetimes, because that seems like a lifetime ago.
He is so strong.
Yeah.
If I went to prison for 6 months and was in solitary
for 6 months
for 6 months with no TV, no cell phone, all you got was a fucking toilet, a cot, and a fucking book if you wanted to read one. For 6 fucking months, dude.
And did they do that to protect him from the general population?
Yeah, he had to be in you know, seclusion to not be with Gen Pop. Yeah.
Wow.
So 6 months of that, I would lose my shit. I would never be the same.
He's like the most easygoing.
He has no anxiety.
How?
He is so normal. He doesn't take any medication. He's a fucking happy-go-lucky dude. He has, like, I have anxiety attacks, and he's like, well, just calm down. And I'm like, oh, thanks, buddy. Thanks. That'll work. And he tries, like, he's so sweet. He'll, like, try to give me a hug, but he's like, he, like, doesn't get it because I'm, like, shaking. And he's like, he like thinks I'm secretly on drugs. I'm like, no, this is just me.
No,
I should be on more drugs. Like I'm only on the 37.5 Effexor and Valium as needed. I should be on way more medication.
Yeah.
Every time I talk to my psychiatrist, he's like, can we add some stuff?
Really? And you're not?
No,
you don't
I don't want to.
I know it's too much already.
Because the side effects I just tried adding, I tried Wellbutrin. I tried adding that for daytime because I'm so tired usually, and I didn't like it. I got migraines.
Oh, that's terrible.
Then I tried Prestique. Have you heard of that?
Heard of that one.
That one gave me fucking just like, I felt like my head was going to explode. It just made me feel like air was in my head. You know what I mean?
It's terrible.
And I'm like, if something doesn't make me feel good right away, I don't like wait it out. And I know you're supposed to wait take it for like a couple weeks, but if the first couple days I feel sick on it, I can't keep taking it.
Forget it.
No.
You know what's interesting too is that I think they say that war veterans, when they talk about PTSD, you can only talk about it with other people that have been in the shit.
Yeah.
And I feel like people like us who have been through
the fucking trenches.
Yeah, like you really can't fathom it. Like Tommy, I'll tell my husband stories, and that's every time I tell him, he's like, what? Like it's just, and I've only told you like, now this is a fraction. There's still like a whole other,
I want to hear everything.
Volumes. But then you're like, they don't really comprehend the levels of terror like a kid can go through, and you know what I mean? You have to experience it to kind of really fucking understand.
And then it's so weird. Like, what does Tom do? Like, if you have a panic attack, is he good about it?
Yeah. I don't have them very often. I took too much CBD with THC
and
in
freaked
it,
out.
and I was having rolling panic attacks.
Yeah,
and he's just like, it's like he talked me down.
Aww.
It was really sweet. But I generally don't have them I don't have them anymore. Not since I was.
But he's comforting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
he's
good.
very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like yours is too.
Yeah, Tommy is. He just doesn't get it. He's just like, well, what's happening? Let's think about it. I'm like, well, I don't want to think right now. I'm like, he's like, there's gotta be a reason. I'm like, no, dude, I just started like it. Cause sometimes mine will just happen. Yeah, like I don't know what it is. I'm like, maybe like past life shit. I don't know, not to be weird, but like I'll see a tree or something, or like I'll be on vacation and I'll just like look and I'll see a color like of something. It'll be like a color of an umbrella or something, and all of a sudden I'll be thrown into a panic attack, and I don't know why. It'll be random. Makes no sense.
I'll tell you. I think I have a theory because I would get that too. So, okay.
All right. Let's break it down.
Okay. So when I used to walk around our old neighborhood, I would walk around the middle of the day and I would hear leaf blowers. And I would immediately go into a dissociative, like, I'm uneasy. I fucking hate leaf blowers. And I'm like, who hates leaf? Like, who's saying that as passionately? Turns out, as a childhood memory, my dad would just leave me home alone a lot in the summertime, like to go to work. Like, I wouldn't do anything. I would sit in the house all day scared, waiting for him to come home. And when the gardeners would come around, the leaf blowers, I would be afraid that they would break into the house and take me. Yeah. And so I have like a weird fear, you know, and
like, they're all by the window.
And it's scary for a little girl who's alone in the house. It's 7 years old or whatever. And so that was a direct pipeline. I could remember that one. Yeah. But maybe you have some that are so in the vaults that you just see a color and you're
can't remember them. It's like
and it's trauma though, because the trauma brain can't remember. You have to try. So Miss Pat told me, a comedian, because she goes, Christina, you just got to try to remember. Just start trying to remember. And then they'll start, because I couldn't remember anything in my childhood either for like years.
A long time, She
goes, just start trying. Remember the little stuff.
I'm so scared.
Have you tried EMDR?
No, everyone keeps telling me about that.
I have a woman for you.
Really? I want to go.
Do it. Have her come here.
Yeah, I'll have her come over. I'll pay her. Yeah.
It changed my life too.
I want to do that. I would love it. I will have her over the house.
Do it, dude.
Yes.
That one you got to fear. You got to face your fears.
I just have to remember them because I think I've blocked a lot out. I remember the really, really traumatic stuff, and then like little things will come to me out of nowhere, and I'll be like, "Oh God."
That's what it is.
It's like very few good memories from my childhood.
Me too. That's so funny because like, me too.
You're like, what are the good ones? And then my mom's like, you just don't remember the good stuff, and I'm like, what good stuff? The good stuff? Like one time you took me to Burger King and it was fun. Yeah.
Well, I went to Chuck E. Cheese. My dad would take us to Chuck E. Cheese. I went to Magic Mountain with him. Yeah. I went to Disneyland with them.
But every vacation was traumatic. Were your vacations traumatic?
Oh, my dad would take me to Club Med when I was a little girl. And then, like, if you've ever been there, back in the 80s,
everyone was like naked.
Yeah. Oh my God. A fuck club. And so, and I'm a little girl, again, dancing with sailors and weirdos. And I'm running around this village, this French fucking swinger club or whatever.
People in banana hammocks everywhere. You're like, wow, that guy's wiener is showing.
Yeah, like finding cigarettes to smoke with other children. Little French kids. Yeah. I mean, and I'd watch him, drink tequila in the room. And I remember getting excited because Daddy could drink the worm at the bottom of the tequila bottle.
Where is your dad now? So dark. The darkest.
Not sure.
Do you talk to him?
Not right now, no.
Really?
No, it's too much going on.
God damn. Yeah, I mean, I just started talking to my mom again. We've had a very tumultuous relationship and we're trying to work on it. And she talks to my therapist and I talk to my therapist and, we're trying to like, be cool. I haven't seen her in about 3 years. And I talk to my dad every day.
That's good.
And my dad's my dad calls me and texts me every day. And he's done that since I moved out here 17 years ago. Oh. He loves me so much.
That's wonderful.
He literally calls and texts every single day. And if I don't respond, he'll just send me weird pictures of him. Like he'll be like, hey, it's Dad. And he'll be like he'll make a face. It's very he very much cares. Oh. Yeah. So my dad tried really hard to be, but he's a dad. So it's only so much they can do.
Guys are dopes.
Guys are he's a guy's guy too. He's not he's not effeminate. So it's he's a dude. So when I was sad when I was younger, he'd be like, hey, and I was like, that's not what I need. I need a hug. And he'd be like, okay, you're going to be fine. Yeah. I'm like, ow, fuck. Jesus Christ, just punch me in the face. He's like, you're gonna toughen up, and I'm like, oh God, I'm not tough, I'm weak. You know.
Oh no. My dad literally, when he would tell me,
your dad's freaking hardcore.
My dad would be like, I love you, okay? And you're like, that's the love. I love you. All right, slap, slap, slap. Yeah,
what about birthday parties and shit?
So here's the deal. He was actually quite good about spoiling me in that regard. If it was money. If he could throw money at the problem.
Was he wealthy?
I think he did really well.
What did he do?
He owned a forklift business in the Valley, and he did really well. I'm really proud of him. He worked his way up from fucking nothing. Mm-hmm. And I think Yeah, birthday parties. Yeah, money, throw money.
I would have just lived with him. I would have been like, fuck it. I'll live with forklift daddy.
I did for a while, and I did. I go back and forth,
yeah.
back and forth. It was too much.
But wanting a mother's love is very important. Like, wasn't the worst? Like, yeah, I know.
I still don't know what that is. Like, people, we don't know what we've missed. Mm-hmm. So I get sad about it, but I don't know what I'm missing. I don't know what I'm sad about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know what I give my kids. And I'll be like, this must feel really good for them. Like they must feel so safe, and that must be really nice. You know?
I know I'm like so jealous of people who like do you remember going over friends' houses with their moms?
Yeah.
And their moms were like braiding their hair and baking pie and making, like being like, I love you. Let's go get our nails done together and like let's cuddle and like be so sweet. And I'm like, whoa, I want that.
Yeah. I want that too.
What's that?
Or I go to my
They're just so warm and loving.
Yeah.
You come to them with any problem.
Yeah. Or I go to my American friend's house and they'd be like, well, there's tuna casserole. And I'm like, what the fuck is a tuna casserole? There's food in the fridge. Help yourself.
Yeah.
And they had like
cool
good
juice
snacks.
boxes and stuff. You're like, whoa. Yeah.
Chocolate pudding. And like Twinkies and shit. I was like, dude. Yeah. And the mom would just be like, have fun, you guys.
Yeah.
Just
bring you some snacks while you're playing. What is this? Ritz crackers with little pieces of salami and cheese? What? Did you make this masterpiece?
Yeah. Or just a mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the tender mom. My best friend.
The tender mom. That's what I always wanted.
Yeah. My friend Shauna, my best friend growing up in the Valley, thank God for her and her family, because her mom was real tender and just still to this day, like the kindest.
Safe and kind, yeah.
Just gentle. Just Carol. Her name's Carol.
Oh, Carol. And soft spoken.
Yeah.
Doesn't yell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like, and if you're sad, like that person could like embrace you and like everything's gonna be okay. Whereas like with my mom, it's like I'd be like, I need a hug. I need a hug.
Yeah.
Or like you tell them something, you feel like you want to have like a mom relationship. No. Then they go tell everybody, or they put it on Facebook.
Well, we didn't have Facebook growing, but my mother would tell all people my secrets.
All your troubles, and then tell like whatever, and you're like, okay, well, can't trust them either. That's great.
It's horrible.
So whatever. But we're trying to work on it. Yeah, it's been hard. My mom had a really hard childhood, so that's why it's like kind of just like, and that's another reason why I'm like I'm not having kids, because I'm just so afraid I would be.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, dude. It's as much work as you put into yourself now to get to where you're at. When you have children, now it's a whole new game of therapy and like just fucking going through it, man. Just go through it. But you got to go through it and then you come out. But as long as you're aware, you have awareness.
I just don't think it's for me too.
Then it's not. Don't listen. Don't let me pressure you. It's just a whole new life. It's a whole new life.
Like the thought of like me being older, like I think about it a lot because I'm like, well, my husband's older than me, and his kids are older, and I'm like, well, when I'm old, like I'm gonna have nobody. That's the only thing that scares me, but I could always have like a cocker spaniel or something.
That's why you have dogs.
That's why I have to, I'll always have a little wiener dog.
I'm going to have like 5.
Oh my God. I want like a fleet of dachshunds. She's not fixed. And I want her to have puppies so bad, but Tommy's like, no puppies. No puppies, but I want puppies.
No puppies.
I know. She would have the cutest little puppies. Yes, she would.
Dogs are really, and the first dog we rescued, FIFO, like that dog opened me up so much, opened up my ability to love and care for something. Yeah. I never even thought I could do a dog. And then I got another dog, and then I got pregnant with my kid, my first son. It was like in stages.
Wow.
It was scary. I'm not
scary, yeah. But you did a great job.
I'm trying.
You're a great mommy.
Got hair on your hands.
I do. Oh, thank you.
Does your mom, was she ever competitive with you in the past?
No, she was never competitive with me. She was always like, she was the one who taught me about beauty. That was one thing. Like she was always done up. My mom was like,
mine too.
Stunning. Like my mom was like 108 pounds, fucking nice breasts, like beautiful. Like everyone would see my mom and be like, that's the pretty mom. She was beautiful. And I remember watching her like do lipstick and makeup and like, and then when she left, I would like try to do it on my own, and I looked like Mimi from Drew Carey. I'd be like, hey guys, like my blue eyeshadow? And people were like, oh my God. Yeah. But yeah, no, she was always very like into beauty, and like she put lipstick on me when I was like in my kindergarten photos. I had lipstick on. I was like,
Oh my God.
That's why I'm so into that shit now. Everyone's like, whoa, dude. But it's like, then I'm also very much a tomboy because I was raised by my dad.
Yeah, that's so funny.
So
we have
like
a similar...
Pretty, but like dick jokes.
Yeah, and I think too, it makes you relatable.
Yeah, it does.
Because then, you know what I mean? Like, you're beautiful, but you're not like that bitchy.
I know. And then there's like those girls on Instagram that are like hot, but they're like... I'm not going to mention names, but they're like hot, but they're like, you know, and they're like, oh, I'm funny and relatable, but they're like not really. They're like really just doing the videos to be hot. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like it's like, here's another video of me in a bikini. And I'm not one to talk because I do some bikini videos,
but you have a good body.
I need just a little bit of reassurance sometimes, so I do that. So don't fucking judge me. And you know what? Whatever, guys.
Yeah, but you have a good body. You should just have fun with it.
I'm trying to just enjoy it.
Do it.
I mean, I'm 33. I'm going to be 34 in September.
You're 33. That's like, okay, first of all, I was 32 when I got married. I was 38 when I had my first child.
Really?
I'm 43 now.
Wow.
So, dude, like, you've got a whole world ahead of you.
Yeah, I got some time. I
guess.
You
really do. If the switch goes off, for me, my baby switch didn't go off until I was 35.
Really?
I was like,
wow.
I want a baby.
Yeah, some of my friends like are in their 40s and they're like, they literally look way younger than me and they're so hot. And I'm like, wow, like I'm not even worried about it. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, fuck.
No, you look amazing.
You know what I mean?
I would never. I mean, I think you're just more mature than 33. I was
I'm like 50 inside.
You've been through so much, yeah.
I'm like, Christina, let's talk about Polydent, who sponsors my podcast. Anyway, I love you. This has been really fun. I can't believe we did a fucking whole hour and 15 minutes already.
Shit, all right.
I know it flew. I love you being here. I want to do we should do like a fucked up feelings podcast or something, or fucked up friends club podcast.
I would love it.
Yeah, have you heard of the Fucked Up Friends Club? It's called by local authority. They have like a clothing line. It's called Fucked Up Friends. It's us. Fucked Up Friends.
Well, we should at least start a support group for people that have mentally
borderline personality.
I think borderline specifically because it's so many people have it. I think there's I don't know what the statistics are. I think a lot of
or just
people.
Parents that are mentally ill in general, because it's like I did go to Al-Anon to try to address that because they told me that would be a good place, but I didn't relate to anybody because everyone's parents were severe alcoholics and it was like more about their alcoholism than it was about mental illness. I mean, obviously it goes hand in hand a lot, but a lot of the people in Al-Anon were just talking about like, oh yeah, my mom passed out drunk in the house with a cigarette, burned the whole house down, like that kind of thing. Horrible, but like not mentally like abusive, not mental illness.
Yeah, because that to me would be like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, like my parent did that. I'd be like, that sucked, but at least they didn't like tell you that their dad's donkey cock didn't fit in them when you were 5. You know, like I'd almost rather the house burned down.
I know. And like, my mom would kick me out all the time. Like,
that's insane. As a kid, you're like, where am I going to fucking go?
Yeah.
I'm 3.
I know. But but I got to tell you though, I think your mom leaving, that's a fucking rare. Like,
I was so glad.
I do the road, not now, but 72 hours max. And that's I'm home.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
With your babies,
You cannot pry me from my children. Like even now I'm like, I got what's up with dinner time?
Yeah, you're like, bitch, and this shit. Like,
I love because they're me. They're a part of they came from me. So for that to happen, something's really wrong with her.
Can I tell you I was so glad?
I bet.
Because the drama went. All the yelling gone.
Wait until she dies.
Oh no.
It's the best. No,
I'll be so sad.
Well,
I'll feel bad. I'll feel like I fucking
But then you're free.
I'm dead. She listens to this. She's like, you little bitch.
Sorry.
No.
Mom, you're doing great.
Oh my God. No, I mean, like we're working on it. I love it.
You're working on it.
Anyway. All right. So follow Christina.
Oh yeah.
You guys already listen to Your Mom's House, and you have the Mommy Podcast, which is your
where my mom's at.
Where my mom is at is your own personal podcast, which I love. Where my mom, where my mom's at. I listen to that shit. And you have your Dr. Drew shit you do all the time. Christina's everywhere. You guys know all about. You guys already know about her.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so go follow her on the Instagram. What's your handle? It's just at Christina P. Or
the Christina
P. The Christina P. Go follow her. She's mad entertaining, and maybe we'll start a trauma group and we'll let you guys know about it.
I would love that, man.
Shouldn't we? Maybe if we have some. I mean, we do have time in quarantine. Maybe we could set it up.
Seriously, dude.
Doing the like fucking everybody can meet and so many people show up and Right? It's like it becomes a cult.
That'd be great.
Led by us.
Great.
The fucking trauma cult.
As long as we can help people, man.
Bring free donuts and coffee, guys, and talk about your bullshit. Everyone gets it's like AA. You get 5 minutes and go around the room, introduce yourself, say whether you'd like to share or not.
I love that.
Yeah, cool.
Let's do
cool.
it.
There's a lot of people. Anyway, all right. I love you. And guys, follow her, check her out, and we'll stay tuned next week for more Worst First. We're out. Oh, wrong button.